Hi, my name is Asa. I'm a indie game developer. I just released my game, or released my demo on Steam, which I'll have a link in the description. It's a roguelike rhythm game, and I took a life drawing class this summer for school, and I'm gonna go through that a little bit. I'm not much of a drawer. I'm not much of a pixel artist in general. You can see my basic pixel art. I try to keep it simple for my game and just give it like, I don't know, some sort of charm or something. I thought if I kept it bad, it would still make it interesting. Um, I feel like if you make it really bad, it just becomes like decent. Like this is definitely playable, at least for me. But anyway, gonna go through. I'm gonna go through my art starting from the beginning of the class, and I'll work my way down. So it was 5 weeks. It was really intensive because it was a summer class. So we did like I went there Monday through Thursday, from like 10:30 to 3 p.m. or something like that. So it was like 4 hours. Obviously we had lunch break and stuff. And I can give you a little bit of what to expect. So this is the beginning, right? We're doing schools. I can't say the word. And this is where I start off, right? So this is graphite, and then obviously he wants us to do charcoal. So this is charcoal. I used charcoal before, and not that much. Actually, is this one? No, this one's definitely charcoal, isn't it? I don't even know what's happening here. This is like it's charcoal, but I didn't do any of this. Maybe I did this in graphite, and then I did the background in charcoal. I was just experimenting, which he didn't like, by the way. He's this guy. I I I could say a lot about my teacher, my professor, but yeah, he didn't like the background, obviously, which I learned. Like we'll get there. We'll get there. More in graphite. This is just a figure. I think it's our first figure in graphite. I was actually really surprised I was able to do this because it looks really good. It's just really taking me a long time because this was an hour and 15 minutes, and you can see, I mean, that's going to take me way too long just for a skeleton. But it does look really good. I think so. It looks pretty good. You can see how I did this rib cage, and I remember I was like, oh my god. I tried it on the other side. I just could not. It did not look human. But this rib cage just looks so good. Like everything is like it just makes sense. Ugh. Yeah. I did this. Ugh. This one is not good. I mean, I was really struggling for a long time. This is gonna be a common trend of me going too dark. But yeah, this I was doing this little guy over here, and I was doing. Ugh, it was just not working at all. I didn't know. I don't know. I don't know. It was not. I did some. This is pastel, so uh, yeah, I just took a stick of pastel and I tried experimenting with those. These are all for the class, by the way. Everything here, because this one I think was for homework. This one actually like the middle one, but still these are like supposed to be gesture drawings. They were a little too filled out, and still, even if it's not charcoal, these are too dark. They could have been simpler. This one was interesting. This wasn't even a real person. This was like a mannequin, so it wasn't that realistic. But you can see here, like it makes sense. It's just too dark. The nose is a little weird. Like it makes sense generally. Just way too dark, especially here under here. Like you can't really find this defined edge. This no. The ear's too small. Maybe the shape, the placement is a little wrong. But generally, I did really like this one. Um, yeah, I was surprised. This also probably too small, too short. Her chin there. We did hands. My first hand was not good. This was charcoal, but like I was really trying. I was like, oh man, I gotta go lighter. Like at this point, I was really trying my best to go as light as possible. But yeah, this hand was not good. I did this one over here, which also this doesn't help that it's a fake hand. It was like really shiny and plasticky. We got this one on the projector, and this one's decent actually. If you look at it, it's pretty decent because it's hard to see, but it actually was very dark. I ran out of time for the wrist and stuff, but I think it's decent. It's still too dark. It's still too dark, but the form and everything is really good. Yeah, that one's not that good. This one, although I did more hands, so this one was for homework. I think it's generally right. The thumb is a little weird, but you can see how I'm trying to keep it light. This one I'm trying to keep it light as well. This is like the first one that I was actually getting pretty accurate with the shading. Like, I feel like the proportions for me weren't that difficult. It was just really the shading and how dark I'm going. This I actually really like. This one is really good. I like it. I like how dreamy it looks. Like, you can see how I really didn't define these edges. I kind of just like let them be loose. Yeah, I like these creases. Yeah, this one's good. This one's actually good. These feet, I had less time for these. Because for most of these, like this one, when they're in class, when I'm working on this board thing, it's usually an hour 15. I'll tell you when it's not. Like this one was an hour 15. This one was probably an hour 15. This one, we were trying to like fit it into the rest of the class. It was probably like 45 minutes. And it was not, it just didn't go. It didn't go. It was also a very weird view. You can see here, I put, this one was 30 minutes. That's pretty freaking good for 30 minutes, no? I was getting the form down decently. And we do work for models in this class, like live models, but I'll tell you when we start working from them, because this was not it. I think these are just pictures on the projector. This one was an hour. Also picture from projector. 30 minutes from projector. I like this one a lot, actually. I told him this because the proportions are pretty wrong. Like, I mean, a little bit wrong. I told him that if I did this outside of class, I'd actually be pretty happy with it. I like the vibe it has, but for the fact that it's a live drawing class, it's like, and what he expects of us, I just wasn't proud of it. In that sense, this is 1.5 hours. You can see how I'm hit or miss on the face. I don't know how, but I am. And this is not even talking about the face. This is not enough for 1.5 hours. Like, I don't even know what happened. But this one, like this, look how big I'm working here. But look at this tiny little notebook I did of the same photo shoot, I think. I did this for homework, and obviously I didn't spend 1.5 hours on this. I spent like, I don't know, 30 minutes on it, and look how much better it is. I mean, this foot kind of loses shape, but it's just so much better. It's way better. So I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know what happened. I guess I just had a good day. Oh, now we start working for model. We start working from these live models. 15 minutes. I think that's decent proportions. I mean, it could have been wider. He looked kind of like lengthy. 30 minutes. Decent, I think. 1.5 hours, I actually think is pretty good. I think I'm really paying attention to shades. I really like this down here. His calf right here looks really nice. I don't like this solid shade of the shadow right there. Something about that is not right. This hand looks really good. I really feel him gripping that right there. This is another model, which I think I don't even remember what happened to the face. I think I like kind of did it and then I erased it and then I went back and then I ran out of time. 30 minutes. I think it's pretty good for 30 minutes. I like this one. Do. Her quads here are pretty weak. It looks like they could have been wider. This, I don't even know what kind of inhuman angle that is. It looks like her leg is broken. And here, this is where I find out about white Conti crayon, and I put that over my charcoal, and it gives it this way smoother look instead of this texture. And it was working a little bit here. Like, it worked that day. I'll say that. It worked that day. You can see the quads. I mean, it really worked on the quads. It looks freaking amazing. But everywhere else, I don't know. I tried it again. So this is 15 minutes for the next day. I really like this model. This she was really good. She had really interesting poses. 30 minutes again, I forget the face. And you can see me putting the white Conti crayon, making it smoother here again. I don't even know. This is probably one of the ones where the professor, he just kept drawing on my paper, and he was like telling me everything wrong about my proportions and everything wrong about this, and I'm doing too dark and this and this and this. So that's probably why I didn't get too much done on those 30 minutes, because I was like angry. And this is the 1.5 hour. And I feel like I feel like this is this not like such a sharp improvement? I mean, this is the original when we started working for models, right? So we start working for models. This is the original 1.5 hours charcoal. Okay, I mean that's pretty good. This one arguably worse than the other one, but it is with the Conti crayon white over the charcoal, which is interesting. And the let me look at the face actually. I know both of these faces are pretty similar. Maybe the this other one is better too. But yeah, then this one, you can see how I don't really put as much Conti. I really just use the white Conti crayon on those highlights there, and it gives her quads like these. The gets rid of that texture. Um, I really like the vibe of this one. I like how I suggested these hands. Like, I mean, this one obviously could have been more suggested. I think ran out of time, but I think that's pretty good. I really like her face. Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now we get to this model. This is a really good model. So you can see there's always the 15-minute, 30-minute, and the 1.5 hour. So this day, I didn't even post the 15-minute to this channel because it was probably that bad. But here was the 30-minute. So we were experimenting with drapery this time. Again, I forget her face, which my professor is never happy about. He says I should be like working everything at the same time. This 30-minute, there's like not enough here, not a lot happening, but I don't know, it's good. 1.5 hours. I popped off this ranked match and barely used Conti crayon. This is all charcoal, and this is like the best thing I've ever done in my opinion. Like, I can't even believe I did this in 1.5 hours. I can't believe I did it at all, but in 1.5 hours, I just don't understand how I managed to do this. I am really good at drapery, by the way. I don't know what it is. I don't even need to think about it. This takes me like 5 minutes. So that's really satisfying for me to do. But yeah, I really like this. Oh gosh, like her butt here and this whole highlight here, this highlight side, this looks like really good. This is really good. This whole part. Like I can see the shadow. I mean the shading getting a little weird here. Maybe even here. I don't fully understand that, but this I understand. And her arm I understand. She had an arm grabbing out something over here, which was very difficult to get this pose of. And I don't even blame myself because I really think it looked that weird in person, Like, it looked weird in person, this kind of view when she has her arm out like this. And I think I captured it decently. The only thing I don't like about this is I was using a very small eraser, like one of those mechanical pencil erasers, and that was working for a lot of it. But when I got to her face, it just became all streaky. I'm not sure if you can tell, and it makes her look like wrinkled. And she was young, so I don't know. I don't even know. I was like trying to fix it and smoothing it out, but I couldn't. So that's one thing, which probably could have been better if I went lighter on the face again. But you can see the improvement of going lighter, how much lighter I went, and how I kept the background a nice midtone. This is great. I love this. Really, really good. Really good. Even her hair, like, I really think I got that. Proud of this. Ear looks great. So I did reductive drawing for homework, just for fun. This is okay, I guess. I just did it with I put a bunch of charcoal down and then I took my mechanical pencil eraser thing and tried this. Yeah, she was wearing like black latex. We got a new model, 15 minutes. Then we did 15 minutes in color, and oh my god. Look, I literally said the face is insane. I did it in like 20 seconds. Look at his face. This for a 15-minute drawing. This is one of my best faces, period. And it was done in a 15-minute drawing. His body's all right, but I don't know. I got into like flow state or something, or like I was possessed by something when I did his face because it's like immaculate. And literally, people came over. They were looking at it. They're like, "Oh, how'd you do it? How'd you do it like that?" I was like, I don't even know. Oh, look at that. Just look at it. It's like so. It's so just implied. Every single little detail. You can just tell where everything is. It's so nice. And then I said other drawings were other drawings were flops again. So I did 15 minutes and I probably did a 30 minute and a 1.5 hour that day, but I was using these. It wasn't even pastels. It was the Conti crayon, but not white, but different colors. And it just was not working. I was having so much trouble, and I will get into this later, but I was having so much trouble with it that it kind of affected my final for this class. This day, 15-minute drawing. And you can see how sad I am that my teacher said I had to do color for my final because the color drawings were not going good. You can see the other days I was posting mostly everything, but these days we were doing like multiple drawings a day and I was only posting one, if that. So that's something. This day he wanted us to do reductive drawings, so we were drawing on black paper with white. Also, oh no, actually this is not true. This day I was practicing drawing reductive drawing because I was like, okay, for my final, I don't want to do color. Maybe I'll do a reductive drawing instead, which is still interesting. But after this day, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I don't even know what this is, bro. 1.5 hours. Like after this, I was like, I am awful. I cannot do reductive drawing for my final. I'm going to fail this class. So I said, tried reductive drawing today in preparation for my final. But after this, I'm thinking I'm not going to do reductive for it. So I went and looked for some pictures for my final and I decided to just do black and white. I was just going to do charcoal for it. And I was just going to take whatever the hit on my grade was. And I believe I got like an 85 on it or something. So I'll show it. Took me a few days. Took me like 2 or 3 days. I really like it. I like some parts. I hate some parts. Background was done in like 2 seconds. I didn't know what to do. Obviously this is amazing. It's like I can't even fathom how I did it. It's almost hyper realistic. Like this shoe bottom, it's perfect. It's like I don't know if I could wish for anything better. This is good. This is good. This is good. The latex it's pretty good. You can see the latex, like the shines and stuff, like right there. That's good. This is decent. This is good, but this I don't know. I couldn't match the texture. Like I really like this texture. Like this, you can tell it's like kind of fuzzy. You know, it's like weird. It's smooth, but the bottom I got pretty right again. This part is really good with the waist and the latex. The shine there is really nice. Parts I hate the most is probably her hair, her bangs here, her face, and just her general skin, which she was just flat white in the picture, like flat, because she was white and she was pale, but she also had a bright light on her, and that's why there's these highlights on the latex. But yeah, that's how it turned out. She was like white. So I couldn't even get my paper clean enough to get white on there. I tried erasing and then I tried putting white Conti crayon over it, and it wasn't even going white. So I was like, I don't know, this is good enough, I guess. And yeah, that's basically my class. I'm pretty sure I finished the class with an 85, and I'm pretty sure I got an 85 on this final. So this gives you an idea of improvement. If we go back to the beginning, this is my first graphite drawing. What can we use for a good example? This is a good example. So this is like the first full figure charcoal. You can see how dark I'm going. I'm not really using my whole, I don't even know how to explain it. This is how my teacher explained it. It's like using charcoal as a painting, thinking of it as a painting medium rather than a drawing medium, because it's life drawing, but it's like so many aspects of it are used for painting. And just moving down, how that translates, maybe not into this one, but how that translates into this one is a really good example of how much lighter I'm going and really paying attention to those shades and values. I think this is, if you're working on drawing, you need to figure out what you're bad at. And once I figured it out, for the full 1.5 hours while I was drawing this, I was like, shades. I was like, what shade is that? What shade is that? What shade is that? What shade is that? Repeating it in my head, trying to figure out exactly which one. Because if you get those shades done, if you get them done right, it's going to look pretty freaking good, honestly. Just with correct shades and like general placement of those shades and shapes. That's basically it. That's basically it. Because the proportions aren't perfect, right? Like you can't really tell as much because you weren't seeing the model, but the proportions aren't perfect. There's some like, I didn't finish these edges completely, but they're there. It's good enough. And it works. So that shades, shapes. I'm not the person to be going to for advice, but that's what I would say from my experience in this class. And yeah, so maybe this gives you an idea, maybe this gives you hope. If you are wanting to study drawing and you don't want to pay for a class, you can see the progression of what a typical college class would do is work on skulls, work on the full skeleton, or bust up skeleton, full skeleton, figure, some color, heads, not skulls, but heads, hands, more hands, feet. We had a feet day. We had reclining figures, we had standing figures, we had seated figures. And we switched up the times from 15 minutes, 30 minutes to 1.5 hours. And we had live models for each of those, which did various poses as well with, sometimes they use drapery or sometimes they use sticks or stuff like that. Sometimes they use a stool. Sometimes they sat on chairs. And there was actually a day that we did clothed, but I guess I did it so badly that I didn't put it in, I guess is what happened. Because we did more drawing than even this in those 5 weeks, but this is just the stuff I'm not like ashamed to share, because there's like bad drawings to me and then there's like failures. Like I just want to rip it up. These are like pretty much failures. Like I can't even look at that. It's so bad. But yeah. So I hope this is helpful. Remember, my game's out, my demo's out on Steam, Discord in description, Steam link in description. Yes. Bye-bye.